Hello everybody, and today we are doing What If Deku Was an Elemental Kitsune, Part 3. Hope this gets views, unlike other Part 3s. Anyway, on to the video. And today we are doing... Okay guys, so for the video, I do want to let you know before you start, this could be a normal part 3, which is like 20 minutes. Or I might just finish the entire series. So, we'll see. Okay, guys. So, I'll reveal the 9th tale right now. So, it'll be... What was it? Dang it. How did I forget? Okay, guys. We're going straight to the comments. I literally just had it in my head. I'm so sad. Thank you guys so... Plasma! Sans the Gamer, shout out to you. He can manipulate space stars or radiation and plasma. So shout out to you, Sans the Gamer. That would be an odd Sans. Anyway, so yeah, that's all 9 tails. Fire. I'll just go to the picture. Fire, earth, electricity, life, water, matter, wind, black holes and thingamajigs like dark energy, and plasma. So yeah. Okay. Now finally onto the video. Izuku, after the USJ, he's kind of realizing how overpowered he is. Like, I took out most of the League of Villains while Aizawa-sensei wasn't doing that well against it. I might be stronger than Aizawa-sensei. What happened? Alright, so the next day after that, Aizawa announces that in about a week, they have to get prepared for the Japan Sports Festival. I keep trying to say USJ Sports Festival, but I know that's wrong. And Izuku is like, why a week to prepare for this? And Aizawa explains that they'll get a month off of school and to prepare for the Stop saying the USJ. The sports festival. So a month later, Izuku arrives at the sports festival with his class. And as they're all admiring the scenery, Izuku immediately goes into the lockers. And after all of them get their sports uniforms on, they all come out of the little gateway. And Izuku, having gotten the most points, being a very overpowered dude, he tells everyone that he wants a great fight today. And he wants them to be a great obstacle in this fight. And they can grow together. He wants everybody to be strong after all for this society. And he then steps off the podium as everyone cheers for him because it wasn't a Bakugo type speech. So when Midnight announces that they'll be having a race first and tells everyone to get in the starting line, she does 3, 2, 1, go. And everyone immediately blitzes for the little gateway. And while everyone is stuck trying to get through, Izuku uses his earth part and gets everyone into like one little hole, and using a lot of water dampens them all and uses his earth ability to get over the little crevice easily. And then he nearly hides all of them with like covering it, but he leaves a little space for them so they can get out. And he quickly uses his fire to boost him forward as he runs. And eventually, a couple kids get out, but lots are stuck in there because they're all cramped together trying to get out. Shoto couldn't even get out because whenever he tried getting his eyes, he'd just get pelted. But eventually Bakugo did get out after like 2 minutes, and Izuku by that time was already at the massive gap because he was using his fire. And by the time Bakugo got to the robots, Izuku was walking, and he eventually got to the minefield. And he was just walking through it, trying not to be hit, when he saw an explosion in the distance, and he realized maybe I should stop walking as he starts jogging through the field. And as he finishes it, he sees Bakugo going full speed, trying to beat him, as Izuku quickly starts running with his fire out and quickly beats him. But Izuku realizes, if I didn't notice him, that would have sucked. As Bakugo looks over to Izuku as he quickly gets second place, and he's like, that was a cheap trick, nerd. It'll be a while till someone else comes, as he walks away. And probably not Todoroki. Whoever fourth place was, eventually gets through. And Izuku, watching everyone slowly come through, when he sees Todoroki get like 34th, and he's very bruised, and he's like, oh geez, maybe that trap shouldn't have been that bad. And Izuku is like, well, I'm happy I got first. As he then looks over to this tall kid who he never noticed come through, and he quickly walks over to him like, hello sir, what's your name? As the tall kid turns around and is like, oh, I'm a third year. My name's Mirio Togata. And Izuku's like, third year? Why is a third year here? As Mirio's like, oh, it was for some demonstration thing. I got here in the first 2 minutes. As Izuku's like, he was 10 seconds before me. As Mirio is like, you nearly beat me? As Izuku's like, if I stopped walking, yes, I could have beaten you. Quite easily. And Mirio's like, I have to work a lot harder then. As Izuku snickers to himself like, I must be the third year. And as Mirio walks away, just back talking himself, eventually, everyone comes through, and Midnight does the little spin for the next event, and they get the cavalry battle, and she explains it with all the rules and stuff, and she points out that Mirio Togata, the third year, will have 1 million points, second place with 500, third place with 400. So when the game starts, the match, and Midnight says 3, 2, 1 for the countdown, and it starts, Izuku immediately uses a fire scythe and throws it at Mirio, and it nearly cuts his head off because he made it he didn't make a sound with it, and Mirio just felt the heat of it. And Izuku, seeing it pass right through him, he's kind of confused, like, is that his quirk? Interesting. As he sees the people holding him up, and he quickly uses life to just hold them all in place, and it clamps down on them. And Mirio phasing through the ground part that was above his head, standing on it now. He looks over to Izuku as Izuku has his eyes fully red, using all of his powers around him, and he shouts at him like, "I'll get first place," as Izuku, with his 6 tails, all having a red aura around them, Izuku quickly uses fire, water, and electricity, and they all pour out of his arms, and everyone that was on Mirio's team is suffering right now. Izuku keeps pelting them, and eventually he knocks them out. So it's just Mirio. And Izuku is going full throttle at him. His team is just watching him because Izuku is using his matter quirk to keep him in, well, no, not his quirk, but his tail to keep him, he's walking on air. So Izuku just keeps launching attacks at Mirio, and Mirio, who is far in the ground now, Izuku making one massive trap for him when he comes up. When Mirio does come up, though, from lack of air, he's pelted with tons of electricity, fire, and crushed with pointy parts of the ground sunk into his skin. And as Mirio screams, Izuku quickly, using his water quirk, surfing with his shoes, snags the bandana and gets back to his team like, okay, that's that. As they're all kind of shocked like, Izuku? And he's like, what? And they point to the timer. It's like 5 seconds remaining, as he hadn't noticed anything that had happened with his tunnel vision. And Todoroki's team had gotten into 4th place from just grit and grind. And yeah, so Izuku, happy that he got 1st place, goes into the next and final part of the sports festival, the one-on-ones. And Izuku is first matched up with Ochako Uraraka because, he won. His own teammate. And Bakugo in this one is faced up against Shinso. So, Bakugo, obviously being mind-controlled, as he walks towards the exit. I'm debating whether I give him one for all right now, because I'm not going to say Mirio has it because Izuku was nearly faster than him, quote unquote. So it's either Shoto or Bakugo. Let's do this. One for all. And Izuku is, Izuku watches as Bakugo somehow snaps out of one for all. Shinso's mind control. And he quickly looks over to Shinso. And Izuku's like, he had another quirk? How? He's not the person to hide something like that. Especially as his cocky demeanor. Was he given it somehow? It's quite similar to All Might's. As he quickly starts mumbling to himself. As Bakugo quickly disarms Shinso and throws him out of the ring. As he sees Izuku staring right at him. And Bakugo's like, He definitely knows. Why did I do that? as Izuku, walking towards the locker rooms, meets Bakugo on his way out, and he's like, "You have All Might's quirk." As Bakugo, surprised, is like, "I knew you would figure that out instantly." As Todoroki, listening outside of the gateway, quite surprised, Izuku's like, how did you get it? As Bakugo's like, "He gave me it. I'm his apprentice." Why do you think All Might's been getting weaker lately? Less time for training, less time for school stuff. As Izuku's like, "You're right. So, this All Might's going to retire soon, you mean?" As Bakugo's like, "Probably. Yeah. Maybe next year? This year? Couple months? Who knows? Anytime." As Deku's like, "Okay, Katsuki." As he quickly walks out the gateway, not saying a word to anyone. As he passes Todoroki, Todoroki quickly walks the other way from Deku, and Todoroki, quite surprised about this, knowing his father will eventually become the #1 hero sometime in the next year or two. And he does not like that, because he doesn't have the best relationship with his father, knowing he still does not have. Actually, no, I'll say he probably does have it, except he fought Todoroki in the finals. And yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, Izuku, having won the... No, I didn't even finish it. Why did I do that? And so, Izuku, after he quickly beats Ochako, waiting for his next match, being against Kirishima, as he quickly watches Bakugo versus Todoroki with a very one-sided fight, as Bakugo really wanted to see Todoroki's fire quirk, but he never got it. So he quickly beat Todoroki. After that, Izuku went into his next fight. Well, no, he did beat Kirishima, though, quite easily. He just quickly used the ground, and it instantly went through the floor of the arena and just held him in place, as Izuku walked up to him with 5 bolts of electricity in each finger and just kept electrocuting him until he fell unconscious. The crowd did not exactly like it, but he won. Anyway, Izuku, after this, quickly waited for his final opponent, seeing if it was going to be either Ida or Bakugo. And Bakugo quite quickly beats Tenya in a very close fight, though. Bakugo got a lot of kicks in the face. And yeah, so after that, Izuku facing off against Bakugo. And when it starts, Izuku immediately starts by going all out, knowing that Bakugo is probably going to use All Might's quirk. And Izuku completely electrifies the ground as he uses his matter quirk and stands up on the air. And as this is happening, Bakugo quickly had to get up in the air using his explosions, but he can only do this for so long as stamina drain, and using explosions kind of hurts him just a little bit now, but still a little. And As Bakugo flies over to Izuku, Izuku uses a torrent of flames on Bakugo. And as Bakugo tries going above it, he's quickly soaked by water. And that's not very fun for him. And Izuku also uses the ground and slams him right into the electricity, making a fist out of the ground. And as Bakugo's being electrocuted, Izuku looks down at him like, I haven't used this quirk in a while. As he quickly makes a leaf out of nothing. And the leaf becomes massive. And he drops the leaf onto him. And it completely covers the surrounding area around him. And when Bakugo eventually gets out of the electricity, he gets immediately hit back down by the leaf. And Bakugo then falls unconscious after that. But before he thought Bakugo was gonna fall unconscious, Izuku, trying to get him back up, lifting the leaf, tries manipulating the air to maybe see if that was another tail. And surprisingly, he lifts him up in the air with air, obviously. And his 8th tail sprouts. And Izuku's like, come on, let's find out the 9th one. As he makes a pink ball of energy, like, oh my gosh, plasma? As he makes a massive plasma ball up in the air, and he throws Bakugo into it. As Bakugo's flying towards it, a massive plasma energy fires down on him in a massive circular cylinder. And Bakugo, just being absolutely shredded by this, falls back onto the ground, unconscious. And Izuku lifts the electricity out of it and gets back down onto the ground and ends his sage mode. And he's like, that's it. As Midnight announces Izuku the winner of it. And yeah. I will not be covering the Stain arc, mainly because he has no reason to go with Gran Torino. And Bakugo wasn't at all involved with it as, in Bestina's part. And so Bakugo instead would be going to where he was with Gran Torino. And Izuku just goes with, say, a random agent. We'll say Mirko. And they just do lots of fight training. And yeah. Anyway, Izuku, after this, learning from Bakugo about what happened, was kind of surprised, like, he fought Stain, the legendary hero killer? Oh my gosh. That must have been scary. As after that, they had final exams coming up. And they developed ultimate moves. And Izuku made his ultimate move up, called it Plasma Overload. And he made a massive ball of plasma, and it, kind of like a disco ball, it just shot everywhere. And for his second ability, and final one for now, he lifted the power of every ounce of all of his tail powers into him, and poured it all into a massive ball of energy, calling it a final symphony. And it was very strong, and he only used it when it was his last resort because it used all of his energy. And after this, usually, he'd either fall unconscious or be really tired and couldn't fight much. So yeah. And after that, they do final exams, and Izuku aces the written portion. But when the matches are shown, Izuku and Bakugo are told to fight All Might. And when it starts, Izuku immediately goes into Sage mode, and using his plasma ability, shoots plasma little finger beams off of all of his fingers and tries hitting All Might. And Bakugo, going into full cowling mode with his explosions, quickly is hit by All Might in the chest as Izuku sees this and uses his plasma ability. And since, he is matter, he quickly manipulates the air also around All Might with his air part and makes it where All Might can't breathe. As All Might tries to get air, Izuku quickly kicks him in the face, and now he gets air. And Izuku quickly gets Bakugo up, like, come on, we need to slowly beat him. As All Might tries to kick Izuku in the face, but Izuku quickly dodges it, being in Sage mode. And as Izuku just dodged it, and All Might's right there, he quickly blasts All Might in the eye with a massive bolt of lightning. And it electrocutes his entire head. And it gives All Might a little cut to remember him by. And it blinds All Might in one eye. And Izuku's like, I should not have done that. As All Might trying to see out the eye, but he can't open it, quickly looks at Izuku like, I need to end this now. As he goes full power and blitzes towards Izuku. And Izuku gets a fire scythe and a plasma shield as he quickly has a brawl with All Might, using his scythe to damage him and his plasma shield to block any attack. Because, well, it's plasma. And as they have that epic brawl, Bakugo, who is told to go to the exit, is about there. And right as he's on the last step, he hears a massive sonic boom as Izuku knocked All Might out with something he liked to call death. Death from above. And he used his plasma overload as he aimed it, obviously, and it hit All Might tons of times. And when Izuku then used Final Symphony on him, that was a lot of damage. But right after this, Izuku quickly sat down as he couldn't move from all the stamina he lost. And All Might, in a crater, shriveled up in his normal form, bleeding a lot. As he tried blocking it, but it still did a ton of damage, and Bakugo gets through the exit. And Izuku, seeing All Might, like, so this is what you look like without your quirk. And All Might's like, how did you know? As he says, well, I talked to Bakugo, and I figured it out. As All Might snickers to himself, like, of course. And, yeah. So, he quickly helps All Might up and uses a matter ability to make an illusion that All Might's in his hero form, as he tells that to All Might, and they quickly walk over to Bakugo. And as Bakugo tries to reason with Izuku, like, you know, everyone's watching, right? And Bakugo is then told by Izuku, like, relax, I have a illusion on All Might that they can see him in his hero form right now. And as they come back to the facility, Izuku quickly sits down, like, that was tiring. And everyone supports Izuku, like, that was so cool, Izuku. You defeated All Might. And yeah, everyone was surprised. So yeah. Anyway, after that, they do the summer training camp arc. And yeah. So, when it starts, obviously the same exact thing with the Wild Wild Pussycats happens. So let's just sim all the way to, I'm not going to say the part with Muscular. We'll say anything that happens with Izuku in the normal series, just swap it out with Bakugo. So he helps out Koda because he's worried for the little rascal. But no, since we swapped it out, Izuku ended up being stolen. But as he was in the portal, he quickly tries to grab onto Bakugo's hand, but Dabi throws him through the portal. And as it closes, Bakugo screams like, Deku! As the portal closes and Bakugo starts breaking down in tears. Because that was Izuku. And as Izuku is tied to this chair, he meets Shigaraki. As Shigaraki's like, you're the kid that beat the entire army. As much as I want to kill you, I won't for now. If you don't join us, we'll at least keep you for a hostage. Maybe get some money. Then leave you on the streets, bleeding to death. As Izuku's like, I understand. As Shigaraki's like, that's great. Well, Izuku Midoriya. With such a strong quirk, why would I want it to go to waste? How about you join us? We can make your horrible situation so much better. As Izuku's like, as Shigaraki quickly starts talking, like, with your caged up life, your social roles, your stereotypes, as Izuku's like, my life is just fine. I don't need your villain stuff. I'm doing just fine. As Shigaraki's like, whatever. And in this also, Momo still tracked the Nomu. And 2 weeks after this, Izuku, waiting for them to probably make him bleed out and die, as he's just sitting there with his very low quality meatloaf, he sees All Might come through the door, smashing through it. And Izuku, seeing All Might's like, they're here. As he quickly breaks out of the ropes, knowing he could have done this already, and gets into Sage mode and starts fighting off the villains with his scythe. And he cuts Shigaraki actually 3 times. Before he sees everybody spit out some black ooze. And he gets onto All Might as Izuku's like, I know where they're going. As All Might's like, point me in the direction, kid. As he points south. And they quickly go over there. As Izuku, in Sage mode and using all his full power, gets there the same time as All Might. And all for one's shocked, like, seems this kid's stronger than you, All Might. As Izuku teleports behind him with such speed and cuts All For One's head off as he's like, easy. As All Might's like, well, kid, watch out! As All For One quickly regrows his head with his regeneration, with his massive fist ready for Izuku's head. And as he goes to hit Izuku quickly dodges under it as All Might kicks All For One into a building. And they start fighting as Izuku supports All Might with some plasma blast to All For One. But near the end of the fight, Izuku was hit into a building and nearly knocked unconscious as he was forced to watch with a broken arm and 2 broken legs watching All Might's fight. And near the end of it, as All Might had gone wrecked, and he saw All For One get all of his quirks ready to hit All Might, Izuku quickly raises his left arm up as he takes a deep gulp, and all of his power charges into one little bubble, and he pours all of his energy into All Might, like, I believe in you, All Might. You can do this. As All Might quickly powers back up, and he looks to Izuku like, thank you, kid. As All For One screeches at him and quickly goes for All Might's head. And All Might dodges this and United States smashes All For One into the ground, knocking him out. And yeah, Izuku then going unconscious also after using Final Symphony was taken to the hospital, obviously, and he was treated for his wounds. But when he woke up, he saw All Might next to him, like, kid, I'm pretty sure you saved my life there. Thank you. I can't say anything more, honestly. You honestly saved my life. I probably would have died out there without you. Thank you, kid. You saved a lot of lives yesterday. As he walks out of the room. And yeah. So after that, Izuku also... No, Bakugo was not in the overhaul arc at all. So, completely skip that. And skip the school festival, because that never happened, because he would never have to pick up anything. So, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. We had to skip a lot of things today, because Izuku does not have One For All. Lots of things change there. And Bakugo is more of an open person with One For All. He is mentored with All Might now. Okay, guys. That seems to be the end of this series. So, thank you guys so much for 700 subs once again. And right now we're at 750, so let's make on our way to 800. Yeah. So, this is Itaku, signing off. Bye-bye.